Welcome back, observers of the human heart, to Anything You Want, the digital sanctuary where we believe that the most profound stories are often told in whispers, not shouts. We are here to examine the space between the headlines, to read the language of silence, and to understand the delicate architecture of connection under the spotlight. Before we step into the hushed corridors of today's exquisite mystery, I invite you to anchor yourself in our community. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss a chapter of these unfolding human dramas. Press the like button to signal your presence. And for those who wish to become true patrons of this storytelling art, I urge you to click the join button. Your membership allows us to keep digging deeper. Today, we turn our gaze to a synergy that has been studied by fans as if it were a Renaissance painting, Cenk Torun and Mahassine Merabet. For years, their collaboration glowed hotter than the script required. But recently, those scattered moments of on-screen fire have fused into a real-life claim crashing like a wave, that Cenk and Mahassine may have taken vows far from the flashbulbs, in a ceremony so quiet it left the world blinking in disbelief. Did they execute privacy with surgeon-level precision? Stay with us, here on Anything You Want, as we analyze the anatomy of a secret wedding. To understand the magnitude of this rumor, we must first appreciate the foundation it is built upon. Over time, the professional spark between Cenk and Mahassine seemed to soften into something gentler in public view, side glances caught on carpets, portraits that suggested ease rather than performance, and social media posts that read like small notes without recipients, a language for two. Now, the whispers suggest these two became one. The tale insists on something microscopic. No grand ballroom, no 300-person guest list. Just a sacred exchange kept small enough to hold in one hand, then tucked away. The romantic theory imagines a retreat not within Turkey's borders, where anonymity is impossible, but to a discreet European edge. Somewhere with old walls and heavy doors built to keep secrets, where the sea hushes even the busiest thoughts. Observers point to their recent behavior as practical proof. Mahassine has stepped aside from interviews. Cenk's once steady digital hum has dimmed to near silence. In the celebrity ecosystem, two people withdrawing simultaneously is almost never nothing. It reads like a rearrangement of priorities, a choice to protect something fragile. Every mythology needs an artifact, and here it is, a ring. Recently, eagle-eyed fans spotted an understated band glinting on Mahassine's hand. We live in the forensic age, where screens become magnifying glasses. Images were pinched and zoomed, frames compared, reflections considered. The believers landed on one charged conclusion: that quiet ring is not an accessory, it's a promise. And yet, when the questions rose like smoke, the answer was absolute silence. Cenk said nothing. Mahassine said nothing. No denial to flatten the story, no confirmation to end it. I pause here to ask you, the thoughtful community of Anything You Want, how do you interpret this silence? In a world that thrives on swift statements, does refusing to play the game read to you as confirmation? Or do you see it as a line drawn in respect, a boundary we ought to honor? Share your reflections in the comments below. As the narrative took on a life of its own, fans turned methodical. They stopped looking at the people and started looking at the background. They noticed a detail, the curve of a wooden chair in a landscape photo Mahassine posted weeks ago. They studied the grain of its wood and the pattern carved at its back. Then, they placed it beside a blurred background from one of Cenk's fleeting stories around the same time. At first glance, these were two unrelated glimpses from busy lives. Reconsidered under this new light, they became puzzle pieces. People aligned shadows like sundial readers, broke down light angles, and compared textures, persuading themselves that those images were corners of the same space on a secret day. The stakes sharpen when murmurs drift in from places where they logged countless hours side by side on set. Suddenly, history is revised like a script and rewrite. Colleagues now remember how Mahassine would keep an eye on Cenk after long days, ensuring he found a breath of quiet amid the rush. Crew members tell small winter stories, the air turning cool, Cenk shrugging off his coat and letting it fall over her shoulders without a line or a glance, just an instinct. In the old telling, these were kind gestures between co-stars in sync. In the new telling, they are sparks catching on dry kindling, proof that the foundation for a marriage was being laid right in front of us. If you are captivated by this deep dive into the mysteries of connection, please take a moment to like this video. It helps us bring these nuanced stories to a wider audience. And remember, hitting that join button supports the detailed research required to piece together these narratives. If vows were indeed exchanged far from home, the next chapter matters. How do you return to normal life carrying a secret that big? One grounded theory imagines them returning to Istanbul with no ceremony beyond customs, slipping back into routines so ordinary they could pass unseen. An alleged neighbor tells of two early risers, remarkably similar to Cenk and Mahassine, walking a dog as the Bosphorus stretched awake in pale light. No handlers, no spectacle. Just sneakers on damp pavement and two bodies sharing a pace. Yet, the rumor mill grinds on. A fuzzy photo appeared, supposedly at an international airport just days ago. In it, a figure resembling Mahassine held a small carry-on. Some swear they saw the initials MM stamped near the handle. Not long after, another image showed a man who could easily be Cenk departing what appears to be the same terminal. Side by side, the pictures formed a narrative spine, a return from a secret honeymoon. So we circle back to the anchor points. The ring that set hearts sprinting. The matched sliver of woodwork glimpsed in two posts. The airport images. The memory-recolored gestures on set. Is this a modern fairy tale hidden under a cloak so that it might live? Or is it a collective dream we spun because we needed it to be true? For now, all we own is the waiting, and the waiting has become its own performance. Neither has offered a word to shatter or secure the myth. Silence sits like a third presence at every conversation. We will keep our post, patient and attentive, and bring you any fracture in the barrier of quiet the instant it appears. Thank you for walking this path of mystery with us here on Anything You Want. Until the next chapter unfolds, remember, sometimes the loudest loves are the ones that never speak a word.